We're live! Okay. Haha, that means we need to share our live. Really quick. And I think Reed will join us any minute. I never go live on YouTube. We're changing life. Everything is altering. Okay, so tonight we're going to be doing a little portraiture. We've got, I can put the pictures up on the screen once we make a sign into chat. What? Why am I signed out? What? I think I'm signed in now. Okay, sweet, we're in the chat. Okay, so for this one, recently we've been doing lots and lots of commission work, and I don't know if you can see it well, but this is a piece that I've been working on. Tonight we're going to do some 5x7. This is an 8x10 inch. See if we can draw it up. Okay, there we go. So here you can see a piece that, can you even? There. It might have a little glare just because of the lighting in here, but this is a dog who we're working on named Bailey. Really cute. I do different styles, so it's not all the same. And I can also walk you through a little bit more about the commission process. I do have 3 different cameras, by the way, just in case you're like, what is happening here? So the commission process, people reach out to me either in person or via email, usually, sometimes through Instagram, and ask for a commission. We talk about what it is that they want and what they need, size-wise, price-wise, and time-wise. These are the things that can alter the price, is how quick you need it. And then I create a little invoice. The invoice gets sent over. The commissioner pays a deposit or the full amount, up to them, and then I get to work. I do payment programs, like a pay-as-we-go type of thing, in case it's something that you have to budget out a bit, which is totally fine. I don't mind doing that. The only thing is I don't give people the paintings until that's my dog, Giorgio. You can receive your painting once the payment has been fully received on my end. But this one, I love it so much, and I'm scared and I'm nervous to add a background, but maybe it'll be better than we ever imagined, you know? You never know. Until you try. And then the world is yours. I'm super late in getting to the internet tonight, but we're gonna do what we gotta do to get this process in motion for our clients, and this piece will have to get finished. I really like it. It's in a much more realistic, like a really realistic style. Still a little impressionist. Like, I don't have individual fine like pieces of fur in it, but we do have quite a bit of dimension and depth. The color, like black dogs don't necessarily have purple fur. It's stylistic. But if you ever get a 5x7 inch portrait from me, you have options. Usually people will get a canvas like this, or I also have paper in case we decide to do something on paper. And I also have these little canvas panels, because some people they want the feel of the canvas, but they also really want Oh, we had more. So many options, right? We always have them. Hi! I'm super glad that we can. I'm just talking to myself over here, going through different types of 5x7 canvas options. And so give me feedback, tell me what you want. Also, if like the volume's too loud or too little or whatever, you let me know and I can adjust it. But and then we'll talk about the design and how you really want it, if there's special colors, if there's significant other things that you want included in the portraits, we'll do that. But here's your options. And each one has like a different reason why people like them, right? And any of them are totally appropriate and available. So this is our first option, and it's a canvas panel. A canvas panel is very thin, as you can see. It will require a frame. So this you can pop into a 5x7 frame. It doesn't need, you can take the glass out. You don't need the glass. Okay, great. You don't need the glass, but if you, in case you really love the way that frames look and you either have 5x7 inch frames already or you want to source some, then this is a good option, and it still has that textured canvas look. So that's one canvas panel. The next would be, we have a lower profile cotton canvas. So these are just stretched canvas. Or we have a gallery, which is a much deeper canvas, and it's just gallery wrapped canvas option. And then our final option would be a wood panel like this. And this is a little bit more expensive of an option out of all of them. The rest of them are included, but I thought I would show you all the choices just to make it an easy choice. And the last option is that we could do it on paper, depending on what medium you wanted this piece in. And if we did on paper, it would have to get put into a frame behind glass. So those are the different options for you. You pick whichever one you want, and then we'll run with it. If you have one, throw it out there. Let me know what you're interested in. Otherwise, I'll show you what I've been working on lately for portraits. I've been doing this pet portrait of the dog Bailey. And so there's style choices too. I want you to get what you want. And I know you saw my booth. I do a lot of different styles. You like the canvas? Can we see the first and third options again? Okay. Our first option is to do a canvas panel. And the canvas panel is encased in plastic. Let me just get like one out so you can see. And then this one you can toss into a frame. So it can be both a canvas and it can go into a frame. Otherwise, here we go. Which is pretty popular. And this is what you saw at the Winter Crafty Fair. I had one of these. I'd probably pick a different one because this one's got a little ridging. But I had one of these I painted, and I stuck this into a really nice frame, and it gave it a lot of depth and dimension because the frame was so voluminous on it. And then this was the second option, and the gallery wrapped canvas is the third option. With this option, you don't have to frame it, but you could get a floater frame if you wanted to. And I think I might have, yeah, I do. I have a float frame to show you. But I just have a different size one here, but this is a float frame, right? Float frame. And this is a little canvas. It's a little too small for it, but that's how it would look. This one's just a little, it's got too much of a gap. This one would be probably a little bit off, but at the edge would come about there typically, right? So you have a little float frame, it goes on the wall like that. Should come right kind of flush out there. And then we can always paint the edges neutral, or we can wrap your image around the edges. Just depends on what it is that you are looking for. You can get a float frame to go on one of these lower profile canvases too, but the flat canvas will not accept a float frame. These would be a traditional picture frame that would work with those. And then, so you're making your choices. This is a portrait of two kitties that I'm working on. Options for a frame. Okay, perfect. Let's get two canvases out for you. There's a lot of little choices involved, so I want to make sure you get the best options available. Okay, so we picked our canvas. Amazing. I'm going to get these out of the way. It looks like Merlin's studio in here with all these things everywhere. Things on top of things. Okay. So this one is the thicker frame. It's okay. We'll take a couple of moments to pick our design style and some little elements before we like get committed to anything. But you see on the edge, we kind of wrapped that design that the client had chose so that it gives it a dynamic, sort of more of a story that's going on here. This piece, we wanted to make sure that they didn't look like it was a memorial portrait because these cats are still alive, but they still wanted it to have a very light and airy feel. So we tried to stay away from clouds. Clouds are more memorial. So we can talk about that as well, if you wanted to include clouds or if you wanted it to be more of a naturalistic style. So this right here is what I was doing. It's got a wrapped canvas. And then this one I'm in the process of, and I just started it last night, but this is a dog named Bailey, who it's a memorial portrait. And I met her, the client for this piece. She lives like in my neighborhood and came to the crafty fair too. So I was really happy to be able to paint locally. Avoid clouds. Okay, amazing. Good to know. So yeah, and this eventually will get a wrapped edge to it as well. Whatever we do here, I'll do along the sides too, in a pretty simplistic kind of way. Now, I do paint in many styles, right? That was a super realistic style. Like, it's still an impressionism type of thing where it's not a photo, right? It's not, I don't do photorealism. If you wanted that, we'll talk. But I also do, this is a little bit more abstracted. I want to know what you want. And you had seen also at my showcase at the Crafty Fair that I can also do more cartoony or more, I don't know, like intuitive design that is not so realistic. And those tend to be more colorful, more geometric, focused on like form over realism. So, or like form over anatomy. So up to you. I know this is a lot we're throwing at you. Now, like I said, we can, if we do it on this type of a canvas, you can just pop it into, you like the realistic, cool, amazing. Because I'm like deep into it right now and I love doing that style. So it's easy. I don't have to like brain change right now. Okay, but this canvas panel can be popped into a frame. This is our final choice, right? This is what we just have to make that final choice about. Let's see. Trying to see if I have any like frames just to give you that depth of awareness of what it would look like. I just picked this up. I love Facebook Marketplace. I love a good thrift. I love a good upcycle. Oh, this is a different size. But you can imagine, right? Like if you got a frame that has like at least an inch width to it, this is probably like an inch and a half, closer to 2 inches. It'll give a tiny piece of art more status on the wall, right? So when you do go to look for a frame, find something that's got just a little bit more of a threshold for you. And then that way a smaller piece of art like this will take up a little bit more space and have a little bit more, I don't know, like of an impression, right? Because that's a tiny piece of art. It's small. It's like small. I have a smaller hand. It's the size of my hand. But it takes up a little bit more stature. So that's one option if you want to get a frame. Otherwise, you were looking at that wrapped canvas. Thought? Final answer? Let me know. And you can get any type of frame you want. Custom framing costs a lot, so I do recommend finding something that you really love. But custom is also always an option. And you don't have to be married to the frame. You can put it in a frame, pop it out of a frame, put it in a different frame. Okay. Perfect. Then let's stick with this flat canvas that we've got out. And who knows, she might already have some picture frames laying around that she had no idea if you needed to put these pieces in. Let's see. And you can always gift it in just a simple frame to start her off and then upgrade to something else. Okay, more questions. You sent a lot of really great photos, so thank you for the reference images. I'm looking, put them in my Google Drive so I can pull them up for you. They got their own folder. Okay, we have a lot of different positions, a lot of expressions, different activities that they're even doing. Do you have favorites? Any of them would be great. I think you saw the cats that I have here. Oh, and Giorgio wants to say hi really quick. This is my dog Giorgio. If you hear any like grunting or random cries, it's probably this guy asking for attention. Okay. Oh, he's getting heavy. You're getting hefty, boy. So this one, the focus is of them sitting like up, kind of fancy sitting. Then this one is more focused on the connection with Bailey, right? Like this little smiling face. And do you think your partner would want more of like the attitude side of Grendel? Grendel has like a very attitude-y, like, why are you looking at me? Why are you taking this picture? Like very intense stare. And Is it Mazzo? Mazzo has a very much like a sweet demeanor in these pictures. I really love the one in a box. And then you also have Grendel like very sweetly like sleeping with the little paw in front of their face. Okay, portrait or landscape? A good question. Do I know you're long distance, but I'm assuming you might have seen her house before, or her home. Is there a spot already in the house that you can think of where like there is an art? Or is this something where we're just gonna go with whatever and we'll figure it out about where to put it? Mazzo's cute. Okay, we'll just make them and we'll find a spot for them. I don't think that there has like if you get the same frame for both of them, it won't even matter. But I think if we know which images that we really want to have painted and how we want the cats to be like positioned, that'll tell us more so like what naturally the should it be landscape or should it be portrait mode. You have, I think we could do landscape for both of them, or we could do portrait for both of them. It's really up to you. I'm looking through the pictures. The Mazzo in a box. Okay. The one where Mazzo's head is coming out gives us probably more like personality. And I can imagine like we can push, and I think that one has more depth and dimension to it. The one where Mazzo's in the box and is just like sitting there like face open. That one looks more like Mazzo was chilling and you disrupted the flow. We could do Mazzo in the box of the second image and give Mazzo the face of the last image with the eyes shut. So it's like Sleeping Kitty kind of mode. And if we did that, then you like the head coming out a lot. Okay, now that we are like looking. I think that's really cool too, and it's kind of like this very curious expression, right? Like not sure what you're doing, wants to know, wants to be a part of your activities type of look. And we could definitely play on that. If I were to paint it, I probably personally I just really like including the full like all of the head. So I might crop it a little differently just to like looking. I'll just use this paper to kind of like draw an example really quick. But I might have like Mazzo's head a little bit more like this, you know. And maybe there. box maybe comes down just a little bit lower. I might pull down a little bit. My proportions are off at this second. But let's see if we can get in. Here. We could do something sort of like that. He's got like this little itty bitty body that's in here. But I would maybe just like pull his ear back in. The main point of this. This is not how I would paint it. I'm better at painting than I am at drawing. And then that way you can get a little bit more of the whiskers like on there. Oh, he was a curious one. Okay, yeah. So I think more of the face might be a good choice. And then I can get the right dimensions on the perspective for the box and such, but I really do like, okay, because right now in the image, his eye would be up here, which is the top third. I'm thinking about this like proportionally, but it would be cut off, which is driving me a little nutty. I don't mind it being in the top third. We just need to pull his like ears in a little bit. Okay, so we've got that figured out at least, and I'll play with where we want it, but I think as long as the little ears are in there, then his face will be like coming at you. The body will be in the box. This looks crazy. Like, okay, but anyways, so that is portrait. The other one then, do you want another like sitting cat moment with Grendel? The one where Grendel, I like, Grendel under the tree, adorable. And also giving, okay. Grendel's kind of giving like excited in the eyes of the Christmas tree one. And then the one of Grendel number 6, like you said, that one could just be the portrait, you know? Like we could just do a Grendel. No portrait. Okay, so Grendel 6 pose with the excitement of the tree. Okay, let's look at that. The tree one. So if we wanted to do the excitement, because it's really all about how much green we're seeing, right? And I think that there's two different camera angles, like proportions that's happening. And in image number 6, you're getting like a very thin face versus like a very like Zoolander. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like you're getting like the sexy model pose versus I think in number 7 you're getting a little bit more floof. Like instead of this curve coming in here, it's kind of coming out, if that makes sense. Do you do you have a preference on which one? Because we can put a little more floof in, but if you don't think Grendel's like super floofy, and that was just like a momentary pose or something, a fluke, then we won't include it. And do you want Grendel to be looking at you as the viewer of the painting, or do you want them to be looking somewhere else? Because in the 7th image, she's looking somewhere else. And in the 6th image, it's like, I'm looking directly at you. You're the only thing I see. You know what I'm saying? And it looks like maybe she does like a lot of the arm folds. It's a boy. Okay. He's not floofy. Okay. Then maybe we go more with the face of 6, but the eye set of 7. So we can like pull in a little tighter here, give him a little bit more facial like definition. And then that way his body looks like magnificently tucked in, his little leg. Thoughts? Okay, cool, cool, cool. So we're gonna do the pose of 6 and the eyes of 7. Okay, the pose in the shape of image number 6 and the eyes of number 7. And if anybody's watching this that isn't Reed, I'll show you pictures if that's okay. Like, we'll get there. I'm thinking, let's see, just downloading the pictures so I can post them on the video for you. If my little like logo and cameras go away, then they'll come back, but it's just because my computer is trying too hard. Okay, well, let's get back into the first bits of the painting. Do you have a preference on who we begin with? At all? It's possible that we don't get them both done tonight, but at least we got our process done. We know what we're putting it on. We've got our canvases here, and we can get started. Why don't we do Grendel, since we have a really defined idea, and we're gonna have to do a little bit more tooling on Mazzo. So we might want to do Grendel first. You think it's more direct? Mazzo, we're gonna have to figure out. I think that if we do Grendel first, Mazzo will make more sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll know how exactly we want to set everything up. That's my only thought. Okay, perfect. We'll get started. I'm gonna throw in the images for you so that you can see them. Then I'll just fix it. Yeah, actually, this will stay on my YouTube channel, so you can always come back and find it. Rotate clockwise. So there's image 1, and then I'm gonna put image 2. And this is where we're gonna get our eyes from. Which actually, I'm gonna alter the image really quick. Just crop it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we've got our images. Now you can see our reference. Okay, perfect. If anything changes, you're like partway through the process and you're like, I'm not such a fan of something, let me know. I'm going to do my best to do more of a naturalistic color way that is still within like the style that I do. So we will use some kind of unconventional coloring, but it'll make sense as we go. If, like I said, you just let me know if there's anything that you want changed or you notice anything that's off. And you aren't committed to staying here the whole time. If you want to, you're welcome to. If you have to go or you fall asleep or something, like, no problem. And I'm not playing any music simply because we have copyright issues with YouTube. So I want to make sure I don't get kicked off of the internet. But feel free to play music in the background. Oh my gosh, these are great pictures. Okay. I'm going to open that picture that we're going to use most and crop it to the size we're painting, which is 5x7. Just so I don't screw with our proportions. And then when are you going to come down here so that we can do a little exchange for you? Because you live a little ways away. Oh, okay. Great timing. Do you want to pick it up on the 13th? Or, because I'm imagining you probably have things going on for the 14th. We're ready to rock and roll here. Sometimes it's better to have it propped up a little bit just so that we don't, like I said, change proportions. And I mean, you can always change your mind, but do you want this varnished? It's acrylic, it doesn't have to be varnished, but, and you can make that choice later. Varnish essentially will be like a final layer on it that if there is any texture will kind of like smooth that out. Honestly, most of my style doesn't necessarily need varnish, so if you know you want to wait on that, you can always answer that after we're done with the actual piece. But if we did varnish, it would just take some time to dry and like fully cure for you. So that's one choice. And does she have any favorite colors? Purple, blue, green, pink. Okay, we'll leave it because acrylic paint is a polymer acrylic base, so it essentially dries to plastic. It doesn't really, it's not going to get ruined like oil paint would, which has a completely different process. Okay, we're going to start. I guess we'll start dark and we'll get light with this one. We'll try that. And I think I'll just pull my camera up real quick. I'm just filming with an iPhone. And you can see Giorgio's in the studio. It does this weird desk view thing. Try to. It's so weird. How does it do it? It's like magic. It just knows where your desk is. Okay, we're gonna put a little muted violet down. This is a ground. It's just going to give us a not stark white base to work off of. Takes away all the pressure. Seems like I might turn off our camera. You see it like coming in and out? Okay, I think we'll be okay without it. Right. Usually I'll start out also with like a very big brush and we'll get to a smaller one. What about for the background? What do you want in the background of your portrait here? Yet another question. Do you want it to be, you know, like the other cat portrait that I did where there's just kind of colors in the background? Do you want it to be a certain scene? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are there. More of an abstract. Okay, we can do that. I'm going to start kind of building up some of our values. But we want to use this, it's a little too big of a brush for such a little canvas, so I think maybe just this little guy. He's got really thin ears, very pointy, but they're like very straight, very strong. I've also seen it said that gray cats are really just very, very dark, muted brown cats. I don't know, that might be offensive to gray cats, but I'm gonna go with that kind of thought when we're building up this gray color. Yeah, it's got a lot of brown. I think Grendel's over here proving science right. We're gonna pull it down. It's a little too much there. I just want this blue to kind of come through almost like a little glow. Okay, I'm using a really contrasting color to what we're going to be putting down next. The blue isn't going to stay, but it will really tell us and speak to us as we lay down our next layer. Kind of what value it should be right there. Right? It happens so fast. Now, are you happy with the close-upness, like the proportions that we're doing so far? It will kind of like eat into the ear up there. But for now, I think it's pretty accurate. And the colors that we use in this portrait for Grendel will also be kind of pulling some of those similar colors in as well for Mazzo, so they'll be really cohesive. I won't get rid of the paint palette that I'm working with. But they'll still have like their own personality. Bless you, George. Bless you. All right, we're gonna get lighter over here. Pull out that lip right there. The eye's in like the way wrong spot. I just needed to pull it over, but we'll get there. Let's get real dark, or at least start getting darker. Okay, we're gonna look at the eyes from the other one. Okay. And then the thing about the green eyes is they always look more intense than they are. So we're just going to jump into a bit of paint, but it's kind of like a light mint. I put a little bit of orange paint into it just to bring down that green chroma, make it a little less chromatic. Let's see how we look in. That's still really, really bright. And then we'll get dark again. feel like the eyes need to be a bit bigger. I think if the eyes are bigger, it'll make more sense. Oh, we need to make the eye even bigger. All right. That's why things are looking off yet. Back. Amazing. Got a lot in. Lots of different things happened. Figured out we need to make this eye even bigger. His eyes are so expressive. Don't worry about the green, that's not accurate yet. But we're kind of pulling in a bunch of his features to make him look more like him. The green is going to end up being more like this. That's his eyeball, right? But it's going to be, I think that's more like similar to what we want. And the green is kind of subdued. We're going to put a little bit of orange in it so it brings down the chroma so it's not so intense. want like a olive green. And then we'll grab that very dark color. It's probably a little scary looking yet, but it's a start. A few more layers, right? Eyes are really where you're gonna have a lot of like the people look at it, they're gonna see the eyes a lot. So we don't want it to be like startling, but put a little reflection in. And we've got a lot of work yet, but at least you've got a sense of, do you like the colors? Do you have any ideas about what colors of like an abstracted kind of background you'd like? Does she have like a certain, was there like a certain blanket that Grendel likes to hang out on? That you want us to draw a little inspiration from? Oh, there's Giorgio. Hi, dude. Hi. Can you lay down? Okay, you're good with the colors. There is. Can you find a picture? Do you have one? Because we could totally do the background based on it's like his thing. It's nice when we can make it like super customized to their personality and to like their life. Hi, are you gonna lay down? Okay, perfect. Come here. Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna take a 2-second break, a little longer than that. But Giorgio needs to go out, so I will set this there for a moment and I'll just be right back. I'll look at my email quick. Oh, okay. So like we can totally do that pattern in the background. Let me find, let's see. It looks like it. That's a really good picture. Okay, let me open it. And I'll upload it here. I'm thinking let's see. Oh, wrong one. Look at how handsome. Maybe we like replicate that color in the background and use, I'm wondering, do we want to have like kind of a flowy look to it, or do we want it more like just the knit pattern, kind of more uniform? And then here's the thought, like thinking about it, it'll add a nice texture because we're kind of developing, as you can see, this fur pattern is coming out, which is very like kind of natural, different rounded, soft angles, which if you have in the background more of a simplified pattern of the knit, then the focus will be less on the pattern in the back and more on the cat in the front, our focal point. I don't want to like overdo it. What I think I'm gonna do is for the background, that knit material is really like a cream, like an ivory cream kind of buff. It's almost got like a pinkish undertone to it, like a blush ivory, like a champagne. You know what I mean? Um, we can kind of tease that in, and then I would paint that color in and then go over it with like a really watered down thin glaze. I have glazing medium that we can use so that I can kind of dampen the color so it's not so intensely like ivory bright. You know what I'm saying? So then he's more of the focus, because I I would hate for us to do all this awesome work and then the most impressive thing about the painting be the blanket, right? Like that could happen. It could be the coolest looking knit chunk sweater kind of blanket material that we've ever painted. But I want to avoid that. So just I like making these plans sort of architecturally so that we know when we're layering on our different pigments what the general idea of what the vibe we want to have is. So then that way immediately, whether we're sitting together or not, I know that's too much or too little, you know, that type of thing. But so far, I really like it. Clearly, there's like bits that haven't been touched. It still shows through the background. But I think that this is a really good format. We've got the structure, kind of like the bone structure is put in place there. We've got kind of also this really nice distinction in the fur. We've got like layers. So it's not just a flat image, right? Which if we just painted like a solid color for the fur, that's what we would end up with. We're getting that kind of directional fur coming in. We don't have whiskers yet, but like we're leaving room for the whiskers. I'll go over at the end and do like whoosh, 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 quick movements. I'm really trying to build up that idea of the soft light kind of hitting and making him glow. We'll kind of loosen up that nose a little. Right now it's really rectangular, very tight. We're going to kind of, it's got a gradual curve to it just a little bit. We want to give that a very boopable nose. Again, the glow underneath the chin to really distinguish that this face is forward facing and give a little bit more dimension to those little whisker spots, right? What do we think about the eyes? Because we kind of made it up. I think if we look at the two images that have eyes in that we have up on the screen here, we see that the top image is almost like a surprised, very alert. You get more of the green. The bottom image is more of a, I don't know, like relaxed. It's almost like was sleeping and suddenly opened their eyes up type of thing. So in the image like of this painting, what is the expression giving you? They're staring directly, which is, you know, I could have him look up more. That just means moving the blacks of the eyes up a little bit so that his eye is kind of like coming up. That's one option. I can elongate the pupils just a little bit because they're sort of rounded. So you want maybe them a little bit, and that's not a big deal. That's a really small shift. You want to come up? Giorgio wants to join the party. Okay, come here. Okay. Yeah, that's a really easy shift. One time I had to repaint the whole cat's head because in the picture they sent, the cat was looking to the side and they wanted the cat to look forward. So that that was a bigger deal. This is super, super small. Also, the picture you sent of him in the blanket is adorable. All right, Giorgio. Giorgio is a bit of a chonker. You're a little chonky boy. He's sleepy. You tired? You can take a nap. You can go to bed. Okay, we're going to get back into painting. Okay, Right now he's got the like, I'm hunting you look with his pupils just a little bit. You recently made a blanket for out of that blanket and put a pressure activated heat pad. Oh, that sounds like a really nice little fort for him. Does the pressure activated heat pad work really well? Is he in there a lot? I wonder if Giorgio would like a pressure activated heat pad. Yeah, he's an old boy. He's an old sleepy boy. You need to go to bed, George. You tired? I know, it's okay. You can go to sleep. He sometimes will sit in my robe while I paint. He really likes it. Ooh, I might have to look into it. Okay, we'll do it a little bit more like the bottom. Oh, Giorgio, you're so hefty. Yeah, you're a little chunk. Okay. He thinks painting time is also his time, which like I don't think he's wrong, but I don't think he's always right. He doesn't make it easy. He does. He's like, Grendel looks like fun. We could be friends. Okay, Giorgio. I got you. He does like cats. He really likes going into the pet shops that have like kittens in them. He thinks they're the coolest. Just wants to play. He has only met a couple cats that were like actually okay with dogs, but try explaining that to him. He doesn't understand. It's like, why won't you love me? Why won't you be my friend? Perfect. No worries. And should we schedule another paint session? Let me pull up my calendar. Tomorrow I'm available like before like 5, we'll say 5 p.m., sometime before 5 p.m. or after 9 p.m. So the evening might be difficult. But Friday, I think I'm pretty much open all Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you have time this weekend that you want to finish up our painting and do the next one, that would be a great option. Just let me know when you'd like to do this and then we can do it. If you like that, and if you just want me to finish it, I could do that too, but I live stream everything that I paint for the most part, so it's not going to change the way that I'm making it. It just allows you to have a little opportunity to give like feedback and be like almost like an art director, the creative force behind the painting. Saturday afternoon. Okay. Do you have a time that you'd like us to hop on? I think we're doing a nail trim Sunday afternoon at like 1 p.m. So that's the only thing I have going on this weekend. One p.m. Okay, Central Time. Gotcha. Then we'll do a painting session. All right, stick that in our schedule. And we'll stream it again on YouTube, just like we did today. And I can either, if you could just find me, because now you know my page, or I can send you a link, whichever works out is fine. And it's perfect timing because my phone is about to die. So we were going to have no camera all of a sudden. I'm going to pause now. It's 10:49 p.m. And I'll see you on Saturday at 1 p.m. And we'll get this one finished and get started on our next piece. Amazing. Thank you. Thanks for the new subscription too. Okay. Toodles, have a great night and I'll see you next time.